In this video, I want to show you how to work with music so we can balance our audio, make quick image montages, and use markers for beats and snapping. So let me go ahead and play my clip. So let's just take a step back so I can show you how we can compile this music montage. So I have my first clip loaded into my source panel, and we want to edit this into our timeline without the audio because our music will become our audio. Another thing we can also do is highlight our music clip, holding the Option key or Alt on a PC, hitting the down arrow 2 times to put it on our music bed track. With the first clip loaded into my source monitor, I can drag video only directly in if I'd like to, or I can use the edit buttons. And what I would want to do is just go to my source patching and click where it says A1 and turn the lights off. Even if I use my hotkeys, I'll use the period key because I don't want to do an insert. Inserts will push your clips down. You want to keep things in place. So I've done an overwrite edit to put the first shot in my timeline. Okay, let me go back to that edit point. Again, when you have your track selection highlighted, you can use the up or down arrows to get between edit points. That's a great way to avoid having gaps in your timeline. Now I have some other clips that I have already edited into my sequence, and I brought them down here. Now let's say I wanted things to line up exactly on a beat. You can use markers to help you snap clips to a beat. So I'll just highlight the music, and let me zoom in using the plus key. So I'll just highlight my music clip, and let me zoom in using the equal sign, which is also the plus key on your keyboard. So if you see an equal sign, I'm talking about the plus key. And I can also make those tracks taller by holding the Option and hitting plus. I'll scroll down, so I'm looking only at the third track. Using the scroll wheel on my mouse, I was able to scroll down. Or you can simply click, hold, and drag on this bar right here to the right of your timeline, to the right of your audio tracks. So now I can see my third track, which is for my music. Now we don't necessarily need 3 tracks, but it's just good practice to keep your music bed on a different track than your natural sound and voiceover. But for this is just music. So we can actually highlight our clip, hold Option, and tap up twice. Now our music bed is up on the top track, and we can still expand that track so we can see. So I did that using Option plus minus or Alt plus minus. Now if I want to zoom in closer to my beats, that looks good. Now I'm going to use markers so I can put markers on the beats. Highlight my clip, hit the play button. So using the M key as in markers, whenever my playhead, depending on where my playhead is, when I hit the M key, if I have this clip highlighted, I will add a marker to the clip. So let me undo that. I'll go back to the beginning and just listen to my music. After I hit play, I'm going to have my finger over the M key. Okay, So I made a few markers just to give you an idea on how we can use these for snapping. So now that I've made clip markers, when I drag my playhead or current time indicator across my timeline, you'll notice that it snaps to each marker. I'm going to grab my clips and drag them over here. Let's just say I want this clip to line up with this. I'm not worried about the beat on the very first clip, but maybe on the second and third, this clip can end right at this beat. Drag this other clip in. And as you can see, when I drag left or drag right, snapping occurs. So if I were to play this back, now you can see I can snap using markers as guides. If you go under the marker menu, because these are clip markers, I would need to highlight the actual clip that I have markers on. So if you go up to the marker menu, you'll notice M for add marker. That's a shift M for go to next marker, and command shift and M to go back one marker. You can also edit your markers and delete your markers as well. For that, you need to double click on your clip, right click on your marker. You can choose clear all markers. You can move your marker around and place it on exact points. Or you can right click, edit marker, and you have a dialog box. Inside of this dialog box, you have many options, but for right now, I'm just going to show you, you can click delete. And now that marker's gone. So, just to recap, try working with your edited clip inside the source monitor. It gives you a chance to focus more on only this clip. So if I played this back, let me just hit the home key. If I played this back, again I have my finger on the M key. So I added 3 new markers at different beats. So now I skip the beat. When you edit to music, not every single clip has to line up on a marker. So it's good to have a little variety in your cut. And if you wanted to, after you've made these markers, you can click, hold, and drag on a marker and place it on a new beat. So that's using markers as guidelines. And if you see, it updated here in my timeline because I'm working with the edited clip. This is the clip that I have in my timeline currently. And I loaded that into my source panel by double clicking on it. And if you read in the top left hand corner of your source monitor, it tells you inside of the source monitor is Vimeo V2 1080p sequence, and it even provides you with time code. So that's a good way to line up your beats by using markers, either directly in your timeline or on the clip inside of your source monitor. So I'll show you another trick that makes it easy to use still images within your montage. Now I'm going to navigate over to my pictures bin, and I'm going to hold Command or Control on a PC and double click. And I'm going to pick up my 1080 cropped images. So Command double click or Control double click on a PC. And now I have everything listed in list view. So let me hit the tilde key, maximize my frame. Then I'm going to switch into icon view. And I want to take all these images and I want to put them into my timeline in sequence. And I want to do something kind of interesting like a flip book animation. So I'm going to click the first picture and hold Shift and click this last picture of the Empire State. Then I'm going to navigate over to this little button over here. It's called Automate to Sequence. It's in the bottom right hand corner, and it's the last button on the left. When you click it, you'll get a dialog box. And these are the things that I want you to pay attention to. We want our ordering to be selection order. Otherwise, you can manually move things around. Moving your actual icons around will change the sort order, but for this, I've selected in order. So I'll leave it at selection order, and I want my placement to be sequential, or you can use numbered markers if you were to name and number your markers. So for this, we're just going to use sequential. I'm going to choose overwrite edit because we don't want to push things down using the insert edit. We're going to leave clip overlap at 0. And under still clip duration, I'm going to use frames per still. And I'm going to change this from 10 frames to 5 frames. For right now, I'm not going to use any transitions, and I'll just hit OK. And I was trying to automate some videos to my timeline. I can also choose ignore the audio and only bring in the videos. You'll notice my current time indicator is at the beginning of this gap, which I've carved out perfectly just for my montage of pictures. So I'll hit OK. Now when we play this back, you'll notice that each one of these images has a cross dissolve on it. So let me go back one step and just show you how you manually do that. Now I'm going to highlight all of these clips and click under the sequence menu, apply default transitions to selection. And now when I hit play, so that's just one way to create an interesting photo montage, especially if you take pictures in sequence. It gives you that flipbook animation look. One thing you want to do is definitely balance your audio. And you can do that by either dragging down here, and typically you want to leave this at a -9, or it could be at a -6. Really depends on your output and who you're delivering to. I would just say let's leave ours at a -9. Now instead of using this rubber band that I have on this clip, let's go to this other tool called the Audio Clip Mixer. Now if I highlight my clip will appear in the audio mixer. Now here in the bottom left hand corner, if I click on the highlighted text, I can adjust my clip levels. So I'm going to make this a -9, and then I'm going to hit the enter key. And you'll notice that the slider moved down to -9. I also have options for soloing a track, writing a keyframe to the track, and muting the track. I also have my balance on top. So when I hit play, this actually updates. And it's keeping everything peaking at a -9. So as you can see, you have many tools that you can use in your workflow when you're creating music montages. In this video, we learned about working with music, balancing a music track, using the audio clip mixer, using the automate to sequence so we can make montages with images or videos, markers on beats so we can snap clips into place, and of course, working with your edited clip inside of the source monitor makes things a lot easier.